Hey everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. So it has been a while, but I am doing a very overdue update for my Pan Those palettes today. I think my last official update was in February. I did actually film a March update that never went up because I got very busy with, well, this right here, this poster, and thesis and end of school and end of semester and end of degree things. So I just, kind of really stopped having time for anything that wasn't school and feeding myself and sleeping. Not that I was doing a whole lot of the last two things for the last few weeks of the semester anyway. I will have like a chatty get ready with me going up at some point, talking about like what's been going on, where I've been, and doing like a more in-depth life update. The too long didn't watch version of that is that I think I'm officially a Bachelor of Science now, barring any like absolute disaster on my last exam. I think I'm done. So I finished my last exam like 2 days ago and it's very weird. But anyway, so I have a little bit of free time now, and so I thought that I would do a very overdue update for this project. So like I said, the last update that you guys saw was in February. I did actually film a March one that never actually went up. So I've been kind of trying to keep straight where I was the last time that you guys saw things and where I was in March. Also because of, I think, the confusion, I'm pretty sure that I deleted like my nice progress photos from February because I can't find them on my phone or my computer anywhere, but I do have the nice ones from March. So unfortunately we're gonna have to deal with some screenshots. So as a little refresher, this year has been the year of the mini palettes. So I've been working on the Pat McGrath Mini Sublime and the Natasha Denona Mini Retro, hoping to finish as many of these shadows as possible. And I actually have my first ever finished shadow that I've used entirely as a shadow and only as a shadow for this update. That actually happened quite a while ago. But I do have one more empty pan and I've hit a couple of new pans, so things are going pretty well with this project. I'm quite happy. I haven't really been reaching for my Mini Sublime as much because it's not really giving me like spring vibes, but I have been getting a lot of use out of Mini Retro, and I think I will continue to for the next couple of months until things really warm up and we hit like more summer proper. Here it's just kind of windy and rainy and gloomy all the time, and I would expect nothing less. Anyways, let's get into my progress. So first one that I have is the Mini Sublime. This is sort of like my general focus palette, not so much this time of year, but like in general. And so as of February, I had two pans on this. I had panned the shade Sinful, which was kind of the like greenish gold shade, and then I had panned Gold Nectar. I had a pretty decent sized pan on Gold Nectar, and I had just repressed Corruption, which was like the burgundy shade, and was hoping to re-hit pan on that one, and then I was hoping to work towards side pan on Gold Nectar. So by March, I had managed to do both of those things. I had hit side pan on Gold Nectar, and I had also re-hit pan on Corruption. Then, by whenever the next update was, I wanted to have Corruption done, and I wanted to sort of start clearing out the very thin areas of the pan on Gold Nectar, and I managed to do one of those things. It has not been the kind of year where I've been wanting to reach for golds and bronzes, although I know when summer hits I will definitely do that. So I've been kind of sitting back on them a little bit. I also, just with the end of semester scramble, I really wasn't looking to do a lot of like mixing and matching of palettes. I just wanted to grab one palette and slap a couple shades on and go. And this palette, I think because it only has the one really dark matte that I don't like too much anyway, this is kind of like an obligate companion palette. Because these shades are very flaky, they also have the additional step of they kind of require a glitter glue, and I just have not had the time and effort for that. So having said that, now that things have settled down a little bit, I will definitely be reaching for this one more. But this is how we are looking right now. So as you guys can see, I do have like the shiny pan on Corruption, which is completely finished and has been for quite a while, at least a month. And then I definitely have more side pan showing on Gold Nectar here. So I'm gonna start off with Sinful. This is generally one that I most often use as an inner corner shade. I don't use this as an olive lid shade a ton, but I do want to start doing that more because I would like to actually finish this one, and it's not gonna happen if I don't start using it more and start using it on more of my eye. Sinful I have used an additional 17 times since the last update, and I think you guys can tell it's looking a little bit more sloped. I don't think there's been a ton of pan expansion, but I am sort of working towards side pan. I still think I'm a few months away, but it's definitely getting there. Then Gold Nectar. I have used this one an additional 9 times, so not as much as usual, and I do have like a good amount of side pan, but I did also want to have like these side areas cleared out, so I had just like this little bit left. Obviously we didn't quite get there, but I think over the coming months I'll definitely get there, and I think this will probably be the next shade that I have fully finished. Then I have Sextrovert over here. I really need to like actually hit pan on this one if I want to make any serious progress on it, but I've only used this one like 6 times, so not a huge change. I do really like the shade. I don't know, I just haven't been reaching for it as much, and I don't know why, because every time I wear it I really like how it looks. But I do have like a little bit more of a dip, just not a whole lot. I would say I'm like halfway to pan, so I think a few more focus uses and I can probably get there. Illicit I've used once. Again, I don't even know why I pretend that I'm working on this one because I'm definitely not. It's just kind of in this palette. I am far more focused on the shimmers. And then Corruption is completely finished. So I used this one an additional 14 times to get it empty. It took me 45 uses total to finish this one. So completely empty, and I'm really happy with that. Having said that, 14 based on where I was in March might not seem like a whole lot. This one was already kind of like a thinner powder formula, and then once I repressed it, it got a lot less pigmented, and so I had to pack on a lot more in order to get the opacity that I wanted. And then also once I repressed it, this just started fading a lot faster on my lids, so oftentimes I would touch it up. Even though I recorded 14 uses, it was probably more like 20 to 25 in terms of like just touching things up. So yeah, this one is completely finished, and I'm really happy to have it done. I have a lot of these sort of like burgundy tones, so I definitely am glad to have like one of those finished and out of my collection. And it was a lot of fun to use, even though the formula was a little bit difficult to work with and maybe not my favorite in terms of like duochromes, but it was really pretty. I did have fun with it, and I'm super happy to have it finished. So let's move on to my mini retro. So this one has definitely been getting a lot more use out of the last couple of months. This one I find just is a complete palette, so I had everything I needed to make a complete eye look in this, and it definitely wasn't too difficult to work with at all, so I could pretty much do, you know, 1 or 2 shades and I was like good to go. So definitely got a lot more use out of this one. So as of the February update, I had hit pan on Industrial, which is sort of the sparkly silverish green shade, and then I also had pan on Vintage Taupe, which is the sort of pinkish matte. I was hoping to hit pan on Galaxia and 60s by the next update. I did neither of those things, although I did definitely increase the dip, and now I am looking like this. So as you guys see, I did hit pan on Galaxia, and then I actually hit pan on 60s yesterday. So I've used Galaxia 19 additional times since the last update, and obviously I have a pretty decent sized pan, so I might be able to finish this one. I know toppers are a lot more difficult to finish, but I think that I maybe could get this one completely done by the end of the year. I've also expanded the pan pretty significantly on Industrial. I didn't think I had, but then I looked at the photos that I took from March and realized that I actually had a pretty small pan, and I've made a lot more progress on this one. I've used Industrial 10 times since the last update, so definitely pretty significant movement there. 60s I finally hit pan on. I find this is a pretty pigmented shade and I don't need a ton to get the intensity that I'm looking for, so it did take me quite some time to hit pan on it, but I finally did. And it also took me 10 uses. Usually when I use these two, I use them together. And then Vintage Taupe I've used an additional 35 times since the last update. I've also been using this one not just as an eyeshadow, but also as a blush to help move through it a little bit faster. I did actually have a pretty decent sized pan on this, but yesterday it started crumbling out of the pan for no good reason, so I did decide to repress it, but there is not a ton left in there. I don't think you can see. I don't know how well you can see, but there's really not like a ton left in this, so I think maybe at the rate that I'm going, I'm thinking this one maybe could be finished by the next update. So that's the general update for how my palettes are going and where I am for right now. Obviously quite a bit of change over the last couple of months, which I'm very happy about, but I do have some goals for the next update. Now that I have Corruption finished, that means that I can focus a little bit more on some of the other shades, so I am going to focus on Sextrovert, I think, because I would like to have that panned by the halfway mark of this project, or at least halfway through the year, and I think that's doable. This is a really great all over lid shade. I really do enjoy wearing it. I don't know, haven't been reaching for bronzes recently, and I would like to change that, so I do want to definitely have that one panned by the next update, which I think it's doable. I also do want to continue just like sort of clearing out the sides of Gold Nectar, because I think that will probably be the easiest shade to finish out of everything that I have left. I do want to start working towards finishing that one up because I do like it, but I don't love golds on my skin tone, and I think I would just like to have that one finished and out of my collection. And then for my mini retro, I really want to hit side pan on both Galaxia and Industrial. I think it's doable with another couple of uses, so I do want to get there, and then I don't know if this is too ambitious. I guess we'll find out, but I would like to finish Vintage Taupe. I've been using this one as a blush to get a little bit more usage out of it. I think I talked about this in the last update too. This is a very similar shade to the color my skin turns if I've been like rubbing my eyes a lot or crying, so I think if I use this one all over, it does kind of make me look a little bit like my eyes are just irritated. So I do want to finish this up because I do have a couple of shades that are functionally similar, but like just a little bit more flattering, and so I would like to get this one done. This is a very pigmented shade, so even as a blush I don't need a whole lot to get what I'm going for, but I am thinking that maybe if I just sort of hone in on that, I could possibly have this one finished by the next update and be down to 3 shades left in this palette. So I think that's going to be my marching orders for the next update, and hopefully I will get at least one of those things done, if not all of them. So that is pretty much everything that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much if you've still stuck around and are still here. I hope you enjoyed. As always, let me know if you're doing this project and how it's going down below. If you haven't already subscribed and you want to see more of my face, I will be definitely uploading more over the summer now that I have some free time. If that sounds interesting, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!